Greetings builders, Daniel here and welcome to another build review, where I show you in just a couple of minutes all the information that you need to decide if this build is for you or not. If this is meant to be the one, you can find links for PoE and complete guide in the video description. And if this video helps you, please leave a thumbs up to support the channel. Now, let's get into it! Today's build is the super fast, strong and surprisingly tanky Frostblade Trickster with the Shadow class. Frostblade is an awesome skill that hits enemies with a melee attack and creates many projectiles to kill the whole screen. It's an easy and fun build for beginners. To list the pros of this build, I would start with the amount of damage you can get with very little investment. Besides that, this build also counts with the Trickster Ascendance to be super fast and tanky. It has 7 friends charges for extra damage and speed, a lot of defensive layers, and keeps enemies always frozen, granting a smooth ride. Now, to list the cons, the first thing that comes to mind is that claws have a small range, and it's hard to get extra range on the side of the passive tree you use. Because of that, we always have to be very close to bosses, which is a vulnerable position. But don't worry, they are going to be frozen most of the time. As for budget, this build is not expensive at all. You can get it destroying early in game maps with only around 80 chaos. To comfort with advanced to yellow maps, I recommend investing around 150 chaos, and for easily completing Rattlers, I recommend investing around 4 divines, but you can totally do it with less. Don't forget that on PoEbuilds.net you can find a list with all the equipment that you need to buy for this build, with direct links for examples being sold by other players. You only need 2 mandatory unique items for this build. The first and most important is the Heat Shiver helmet that grants over 100% of your cold damage as extra fire damage against frozen enemies. This not only grants a huge amount of damage but also triggers our Trinity. Next, we also need the Yoke of Suffer amulet that causes all of our elemental damage to shock. This way our enemies are going to take a lot more damage. For clear speed, I'll give this one 9 out of 10. As mentioned before, you have 7 friends charges and a huge effect of elusive that grants this build a lot of extra movement speed. Besides that, Frostblades can also kill a lot of enemies at once. The boss damage is also amazing and deserves 10 out of 10. With very little investment, you are going to turn bosses into popsicles and kill them in less than a second. It's just incredible. For the survivability, I'll also give it 9 out of 10. This build has over 100,000 effective HP because of high armor evasion, spell suppression, fortify, and even a Trickster buff that causes you to take 40% less damage. Above all of that, your enemies are going to be always frozen, so it will be hard for you to die. And that's it guys, what did you think about this Frostblade Trickster? Please take a second to tell me in the comments and leave a thumbs up to support the channel. I wish you guys an amazing day, and don't forget to keep building!